What else? It's a crazy world we living in, man. Crazy, crazy effing world. How did we get here? So I mentioned Taylor Swift. Let's do this.
Indeed, we do. Yeah. So
Indeed we do. Indeed we do.
Speaking of important political issues, Taylor Swift,
the most
Crystal.
important political issues.
We have to talk about Taylor Swift.
Indeed, we do. Yeah. So there's a
It
lot
was hard
going
for her
on.
to say
I
that.
really need you to explain this to me, Emily, because I can't say that I really understand. But it's a football player, and it's become this whole thing. And there was whole freak out over their relationship and the fact she'd be on camera at his games. And this has sparked some next level conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
And it's not really confined to like one or two right-wing influencers.
No.
This is like really taken root and has sparked an entire genre of Taylor Swift, deep state, Joe Biden conspiracy theories. In some ways, it was kicked off by Vivek Ramaswamy. Let's put this up on the screen. So he says, I wonder who's going to win the Super Bowl next month because the Kansas City Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl, and that's the team that Taylor Swift's boyfriend, Travis Kelce, plays for. And I wonder if there's a major presidential endorsement coming from an artificially culturally propped up couple this fall. Just some wild speculation over here. Let's see how it ages over the next 8 months. Okay, so the theory here is that the Super Bowl will be rigged to benefit Taylor Swift, who already has been an A-list pop star for like a decade at this point, at least. At least a decade at this point. Okay, so, and somehow that's going to enable a Joe Biden endorsement, which is going to be a real game changer because, yeah, celebrity endorsements really seem to make a huge difference in politics. That's the theory that's being floated here by Vivek, but he was far from alone. As I mentioned, there's been a whole raft of additional commentary and theories about what's really going on here. We've got a smattering of this commentary for you to sample. Let's take a listen.
America's pop star celebrity sweetheart joins forces with the top dog in the NFL, playing for the team that's going to the Super Bowl. I mean, let's be real here. This is bread and circuses on steroids. Major League Sports, in and of itself, is nothing but a psyop. Get kids plugged into the cycle of going to public indoctrination camps, playing sports for their school, and going to games. Many end up devoting their entire childhood to competing in various sports, only to be cut from the team, at which point they become brainwashed into supporting professional teams because they know their dreams of becoming a pro athlete will probably never happen. So then they become obsessed with some grown man who gets paid millions of dollars every year to throw a ball around while promoting poison death shots and child slave labor through various brand deals and endorsements.
Bro, that was long-winded. Oh man, I'm getting tired of hearing her voice, I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, the part where she said get paid millions of dollars to throw a ball around, I kind of sympathize with that line.
So sad. Imagine being so brainwashed by sports, you actually show up to your team stadium to shovel snow for free so you can watch a bunch of grown men who are overpaid tackle each other.
Sure seems like something that is like concocted in order to.
She said grown men who are overpaid tackle each other. Like, I don't know, that sounded kind of sexual to me. Like, was she fantasizing about something? Oh. What was she thinking?
Accelerate the fame of these two people, get them to the Super Bowl, the largest screens on earth, get maybe like a proposal after the game. This is what I think is going to happen. There's going to be like some type of proposal.
Or maybe she just bought into all the lies about conservatives and Republicans, that they're racist, sexist, and homophobic, and xenophobic, and transphobic, and Islamophobic, that Republicans and conservatives want dirty air and water, and a total ban on all abortion with no exceptions. If she believes all that, she is believing a lie, because those talking points are simply untrue. Now, I'm just saying, maybe she wants to think twice before making a decision about 2024.
That was just...
Man, freaking, but you know what I think? I think it's it shows the corporatization of our media. Like it shows to like it's the monetization of everything. Like everybody wants to be a YouTuber, like and a media influencer now. It's like that's the thing. The kids, one of my kids said that. Maybe they both said that at one point. And it's like, oh, you want to be a media influencer. It's like, but how it connects to this story is clicks. Taylor Swift is mad popular. Like whether you listen to her music or not, you can love her or hate her. That doesn't, the numbers don't lie. She's super popular. Okay. Like her music plays nonstop. Okay. And she has like crazy screaming fans, like Michael Jackson fans. You know what I mean? Like Usher fans. She got some intense Beyonce fans. You know what I mean? So like that is a thing. But what I'm saying is if you're making a media story, let's say you're a YouTuber, you're a media influencer, and you want to get some clicks, boom, Taylor Swift. Talk about Taylor Swift. Now, how ironic is it that I'm sitting here saying that people talk about Taylor Swift? I really wasn't planning on covering this story in my defense. It just kind of popped up, but whatever. Here we are. But talking about Taylor Swift, getting clicks, that's what it's all about. So making money is for the advertisers. The advertisers don't care how the clicks were made, you know, or what reason they came for the clicks. Maybe they care a little bit so that they can specify their market, looking for their market or whatever. But overall, the clicks is what matter. There's going to be some advertiser out there that's going to want to pay for those clicks. And the media knows this. So, you know, it really doesn't matter who the audience is. There's somebody going to be interested in reaching that particular audience. And you have the clicks to prove that you have an audience there. Okay. So boom, you got the news media is like, we talked about Trump on the show and how the news media made Trump, really. They really did. They made Trump. And they didn't realize, maybe they did, you know, maybe they didn't. Who knows? But they were covering him at the beginning when he ran the first time as like a joke. And it was funny and it got clicks and it was people hate watching or whatever. You know what I mean? And then they didn't realize that it was a huge segment of the audience that wasn't finding it funny, that, you know, wasn't hate watching. They were into it. And it blowed his already status, the status he already had, it blowed it up to on a global scale. And so, yeah, all they care about is making money. So boom, they cover Trump, making fun of Trump. Right now they're covering Taylor Swift. I think that it's not, I mean, you do have a huge crowd of people who are feeling the conspiracy theories related to Taylor Swift. That's the reason why things can spread, is because you have people that are sympathetic to the ideas. But at the same time, it's really just them clickbaiting. It's not really clickbait because they're giving you what you want, but they are creating content for clicks. Okay. Now, do they really believe that there's some kind of conspiracy theory related to the Super Bowl and Taylor Swift, like them giving the Chiefs the win? Maybe it's some people that believe that, but do those people that's in the media, are they the ones that's believing that? You know what I mean? Are they thinking that way, really? I don't think so. I think that these people are just making clips for clicks. Pat says, what direction does Swift lean politically? She's leaning Democrat. She is pushing that. That's the reason why the right wing are the ones that jumped on board, trying to say that she wants to swing the election, or she's going to have some influence on the election by putting up a thing that says people can vote, you know, on her website or register vote. And but hey, that doesn't mean all of those people are going to register Democrat just because it's on her website. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, she has an influence on people, but I don't think that she's going to influence what political party they're going to be affiliated with. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got the pressure of their parents and their household, their friends, their neighbors. You know, all of their friends can love Taylor Swift and still vote Republican. The NFL has always controlled who ends up in the playoffs and Super Bowl. I got up for a little bit. I have to kind of like sympathize with those words because one of the reasons why I pretty much stopped watching. Well, there's a list of reasons, but I only watch TV like that at work anyways. I don't have no choice. I'm at work and it's on all the screens, but I'm not turning on that shit at the house. Like I'm not doing that shit. And so part of the reason why I used to feel like any given Sunday, it was any given Sunday and any team could beat any team, on any given Sunday. And that would make me enjoy it because like I always felt like some of the other sports were more rigged, if you will, than the NFL. So, but then the more I watch the NFL, the more I'm like, some of this stuff, is a little suspect. To this day, I still think that the NFL is less rigged than the other major sports here in the United States. I think like football, soccer, like global football, I think that it's like really difficult to rig that. It's ways so many moving parts. Like I don't think there's very much of that going on in global like football and soccer, what I'm talking about. And then, the next down the list would be American football. And then freaking all of the rest of them are very manipulated, I would say. I think, in my opinion, what do I know? I'm just a guy. So yeah, maybe it's true to some extent, but I think there's surprises. It's just that when you think about all of the betting that happens and these big wigs, people have power and control and people have access, and with that access, they want to win their bet. So they're going to hedge their bets. They want to make sure that they're going to win. So if they can have an influence on it, then they will. Calling up some guy to, call a player, somebody that's a player on the team, getting a phone call from some really rich and powerful person, hey, that don't sound too crazy to me. Or a referee, or anyone that's can influence the outcome of the game, getting a phone call from somebody and motivating them one way or the other. Pat says, I must also admit that a certain political party does like to use famous people to push their political agenda. Well, I mean, that's fair game, right? I've seen many videos of, I remember, I'm a big fan of Juvenile. And he made a song about getting the jab. And I want to say he made a song about going and voting Democrat or something like that. That don't have no influence on me or who I'm going to vote for or which political affiliation I'm going to have or if I'm going to get the jab or not. And I think it's a lot of people out there like that are like me, that are, hey, I could be a fan of the guy, but just because he does a commercial, I could see that influence in the kids. The kids, you're young, but that's why most of you can't vote until you're 18. But if you're young, let's say you just turned 18 and you're a fan of some rapper or singer or whatever, and then they tell you what a political affiliation you should have and who you should vote for, and it actually sways you and makes you leads you to that decision. Maybe people that can be pushed like that are people that are already undecided, I guess. I saw a video too, and they said that the election is going to be determined by the undecided voter. And, maybe that's true in past elections. That's why they can say that with confidence. And I could see that being true. The swing voter, the person that's, has a passive, they're not into politics, basically. And maybe they don't know much about it. They don't care to know much about it or whatever. They're the undecided voter. So that person, maybe I could see that person being influenced to vote for their favorite singer or rapper or something. But the rest of us who's been watching politics or involved in politics or just a fan of it and into it, the rest of us are already, pretty much decided or whatever. And even if we're not, a rapper or singer is not about to lean our decision one way or the other. He says, we must admit that a certain political party uses famous people. I read that. He says, some people are simple enough to do what their favorite artist is. Yeah, I guess so. Either way, it's not enough for that really explains the hysteria related to the Taylor Swift stuff. Like, this is crazy.
Just, the tip of the iceberg.
There was a lot more of that. Yeah.
That dude, Benny Johnson, who we had a little clip of, he also put out this tweet that I have to read for you because it really does check every box. He says, by now everyone knows Taylor Swift is a government psyop, and this is exactly why corporate media is having a meltdown about it. By the way, you all seem to be the ones having the meltdown. Just to say, 4 years ago, the Pentagon Psychological Operations Unit pitched NATO about turning Taylor Swift into a social influence asset. In 2019, George Soros bought her entire music catalog. In 2020, she came out as a raging liberal Joe Biden supporter after previously being politically neutral. In 2023, her Eras tour raked in higher revenue than the GDP of 50 countries. In 2023, she helped register over 35,000 new voters with a single Instagram post. And now she's dating a Pfizer and Bud Light agent in the NFL. Kelsey
Agent.
Yeah, agent. Apparently he does like ads for them or whatever, and that was part of the freak out. The most watched live sport in America. Even the NYT wrote a story on how Biden is courting her for an endorsement and how he wants to appear on stage with her. Emily, you don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to put it all together. You just have to be paying attention.
That's my favorite part. You just have to be paying attention. And yeah, I mean, I know Benny. Benny has a lot of support, and he's like very popular on the right. So I can't excuse this one in a lot of ways. Like this, it is legitimately true that sometimes the media will take. It's called nut picking. We'll take quotes from a crazy leftist or a crazy like hardcore conservative and paint the entire movement that way and say conservatives en masse are freaking out about Taylor Swift. This was actually so widespread among people on the right that we have a big story up at the Federalist today with the headline that is simply "Stop trying to make Taylor Swift is a psyop" happen, telling people like there's actually something very conservative about Taylor Swift, who has rocketed to astronomical degrees of fame, falling in love with this like middle American football player who, if people know about the Kelceys, are still like pretty humble. His brother Jason is just like a total bro. And I have a friend that Sagar knows who I was talking to him the other day about this. And he was like, I don't know why conservatives are so upset. The bros are back. Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, the bros are back. The bros have never been back so hard. It is time for the bros to like reclaim their territory because Travis Kelce is like the ultimate bro and he just got the ultimate girl. And there's something, in a way, as conservatives have now rebutted the other conservatives saying, let them be, happy. And if they want to get married, because there's been leaks about an engagement, like all power to
Good
them.
for them.
Yeah,
you're supposed to.
Yeah, it's funny, man, because the whole thing about the bro thing. I saw a post just now before I got on the show about Kelsey's haircut, and people going to the barber and saying, "I want to get the Kelce." So then that just shows, like, what she's saying about the bro thing is really a thing. So, but how much does that really have anything to do with politics? Like, I don't know that it does have anything to do with politics at all. People are fans of football. They have football fans that want to get their haircut like them. Like, that's just that's just a thing. But that's not a thing related to politics and some global conspiracy or something. Like, people love to spin shit. It gets clicks. And then people, what do they say? You repeat a lie long enough that people start to believe it's true or whatever. You make a lie so big that they can't like deny it or whatever. And that's what they do. And, we have the media. It's really scary times because, enough people that you respect say this certain thing, then you're going to automatically start to believe it. And they could be getting deceived themselves and not have good information. Bad news spreads fast. Lies spreads faster.
Support marriage, right?
Yes,
That's supposed to be like a conservative family value situation. I actually think that part of why there's a freak out is because a lot of conservatives feel like she should have been one of them. She's like, football, they feel like culturally this is one of the few cultural areas where we have some sort of traction, very popular in middle America, et cetera. And she originally had, I mean, first of all, she became a star at such a young age.
Yes.
And she did just stay completely, she didn't say anything political. She came on the scene as more of like a country star and out of Nashville and whatever. And then she politically came out in 2018 when she opposed Marsha Blackburn for
Yes.
Senate in Tennessee. And I mean, her politics are very like plain vanilla resistance a lib.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
some 90% of Hollywood.
Mhm.
There's nothing, she's not been particular. I mean, she really has been fairly non-political. She very occasionally will weigh in. She did endorse Biden last time around. But the panic and the freak out over this is also preposterous to me because there's I feel like the Biden people are deluding themselves about this too, that a Taylor Swift endorsement is going to mean absolutely anything. Like if we learned nothing from Hillary Clinton, she had every celebrity endorse her.
Yeah.
They were doing concerts with Jay-Z and Beyonce and whatever. Did that matter? Is Hillary Clinton, was she president of the United States? No. So the idea that Taylor Swift's endorsement is going to be the game changer for the election is also to me so incredibly silly. So there's so many levels of this genuine freak out that I can't understand. And then I do have to go back to that Allison's Angle clip that we played where she was
I don't
like,
know who that is.
not only is Taylor Swift a psyop, professional sports are a psyop, youth sports that you put your kids in, you know, the Parks and Rec League or whatever that your kids are playing, and that's a psyop too. I can't imagine messaging that is more poisonous to just like regular Americans going about their lives. If they heard that, would be like, what the hell is wrong with you? What are you on? And I want no part of whatever your political project is here.
Weren't you like a youth sports champion?
I
Crystal?
was a swimmer. Yes.
So
Back in my day. This
you
is- I am a
spoken
psyop,
like
actually.
somebody who was brainwashed by the youth sports
That's
psyop.
right.
No, well, the other thing, we could go on forever about this. I think you're right about people thinking that Taylor Swift was one of them. Taylor Swift, a lot of people forgot. She had a song where she originally, the lyric was, "That's fine, I'll tell mine that you're gay," about like friends. Do you remember
yeah.
this? Yeah,
Mhm.
I think it was "Picture to Burn." It was like her first or second record, and she said, I think at one point, that she was Republican. She had given signaling in the other direction, and then got really famous, and did the "Welcome to New York," moved to New York thing, kind of the small town girl archetype, moving to New York City,
To the big city.
and seemed to like be liberal, so people could project all of that onto Taylor Swift. That as she got wealthy, she became more liberal, and maybe there's something to that because the arc potentially like of her signaling where she was politically might follow that, but that's not just Taylor Swift. That's very common, and I don't find her politics to be that compelling. I think she's been like very snobbish about her politics, honestly, and I've written about that before. But
So yeah, it is a really weird dynamic where the liberals, the real liberals, the ones, they are very rich folks. Like a lot of folks, I tend to lean in a direction related to education. You know what I'm saying? That ends up impacting your political leanings. And I'm not trying to be offensive, but that's just how I feel. But there is something related to the money too, because these people get really paid, they get really wealthy, and they tend to be liberals. And and that is revealing, I think, in some ways. It's like if you are a billionaire and you feel like people should have things, then why don't you like use your money to make a difference and like not giving to charities, but actually like helping people, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think there's some of them out there that do real philanthropy, but I think most of the time it's just tax write-offs for them, a lot of times it's that, even when it's them building a school or whatever, sometimes it's about making money. They make more money. So, I don't know. It seems like if you really want to help people, how could you even become a billionaire? Because you're going to be giving your money away, not to say that that's a smart thing to do. I'm just saying the philosophy, the liberal philosophy should be anti-billionaire. You know what I mean? Those two shouldn't really fit together, theoretically. You could be comfortable and wealthy, you know, but to the point of a billionaire, then that's pretty excessive. You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do with that? You know what I mean? With that money, you know, that at that point, you can't even spend that money. You know what I mean? You can make bad decisions the rest of your life and most likely be okay, you know? So how can you say that you're a billionaire and you're a liberal at the same time? That I have a problem with that. It's not working out. He says there are more billionaires. That's what I was saying. I know that that's true. I know it's true. I don't know. There's a psychology with that. So, you know, something untrustworthy is in that idea of that there's so many billionaires and they tend to be liberals, you know, and their politics was probably different before they got rich. So there's something to that for sure. Hidalgo goes off on massive pay raise.